The name of subject is Programming in C++, Unit 1, Principles of Object-Oriented Programming. Today we are going to discuss about the procedure-oriented programming, object-oriented programming, basic concept of object-oriented programming, and the advantages of object-oriented programming. So about the introduction of C++, it's a very powerful general purpose programming language. It can be found in today's operating systems, graphical user interfaces and embedded systems also. It is also a cross-platform language that can be used to create any high-performance applications. We can say that C++ is an extension of C language. It gives programs of high level of control over the system resources and memory. Now about the procedure programming, procedure-oriented language. It is known as POP. A procedure language is a type of computer programming language that specify a series of well-structured steps and procedures within a programming context to compose a program. It contains one systematic order of statements, functions and commands to complete a program. So, in a procedure-oriented programming language, there is a step-by-step execution is going on. Now, which are the disadvantages of the procedure-oriented programming? So, if you want to develop a large program, it is very difficult to identify that what data is used by which function. It does not solve any real-world problems very well. Now, this is the structure of procedure-oriented programs or procedure-oriented programming language. Your function is going to start executed from the main program always. From the main program, few functions are defined. From that function 1, function 4 is defined. From the function 4, the flow is going towards the function 6 and function 7. That means from the main program, step by step, the execution is going on. It is always executed in some sequential manner. So, POP runs on a sequential manner and the execution starts from the main program. Now, the next and the new concept is object-oriented programming. For the object-oriented programming, basically each object contains some data and functions. For each object, the data is identified uniquely and functions are also identified uniquely, and the functions of each object is related to each other. So, this is a diagram for the object-oriented programming. So, basically object-oriented programming, it is based on the concepts of object. That object may contain data. Object-oriented programming treats the data as a critical element in the program development and it does not allow it to flow freely around the system. That means this data cannot move here or there at any place. Okay? It ties the data more closely to the functions that operate on it. That means each data is used in the function, they are more closely bounded. Object-oriented programming allows the decomposition of problems into the number of entities, and that number of entities are called the objects, and that objects builds the data and functions around all the objects. Now the main basic concepts of the object-oriented programming. There are so many basic concepts are there, but the main and the core basic concept about this OOP is, the first is the object. So what is an object? So object can be defined as a real world entity. That means entity which you can touch, which you can see. For example, a person, a cycle, a chair, pen, Windows system in computer software. These are known as an object. Student, student is also object. Cycle is an object. A cycle whom we can touch. Okay. So objects can be either physical object, conceptual object, or abstract object. Which are the physical objects? Then a table, chair, this computer, keyboard, these are the physical objects. Now which are the conceptual objects? Then vehicle, a bird, animals, these are the conceptual objects. Animals, but not fixed which animal. If we define that a dog, then dog is a physical object. Okay? And now the third type of object is abstract object. God, which is God is defined as an abstract object. Okay. Now we see the example about the object window. So window in computer software. Which are the properties of window? Then the size of window, type of window, position of window. These are the properties of window. And which are the operations we can define on this object window? Then change size, move, minimize a window, maximize window, close. These are the operations which we can perform on the object window. So in C++, these properties we can say it's a data. And operations we can define as a functions in C++. So for this object, we are going to define data and functions both. Okay. Now, the next main basic concept about the object-oriented programming is class. A class in C++ is a user-defined type or a data structure declared with keyword class that has data and function as its member. A class definition starts with the keyword class, C-L-A-S-S. Class is a one keyword which is followed by the name of class and the class body enclosed by the pair of curly brackets. For example, here the name class, for example, class is a keyword. Box. Box is a name of class. Opening and closing bracket, it's a compulsory part of the class. Inside class, whatever definitions are there, these are a body of class. Okay. Here public, double length, double breadth, double height, these are the part of body for the class. But what is the basic concept behind the class? That class is used to put data and functions together in itself. Okay, that is called a class. Now the next concept about the abstraction. Abstraction means what? Keeping a necessary data while hiding the unnecessary information. So data abstraction is defined as providing only the essential or the necessary information to the outside world and hiding the other details in the background. Okay, that is called a data abstraction. For example, if any person works as an employee in the organization, then its payroll system of organization, salary, date of birth, these are not the essential information for all. So, organization or a person hide that data and keep that necessary information as a secure information. Okay. It is called a data abstraction. Now the next basic concept is encapsulation. Encapsulation means putting data and function together in a single unit. Okay. So in a single unit, data and functions both together combined, then it is called encapsulation. Basically, it serves the two purposes. First, it puts the data near to the functions. So it is very easy for that data to access the function. And it is also easy for the functions to take to access the data. Okay. And the second purpose of this encapsulation is it separates the external escapes of objects from internal implementations. So it's a separate thing. Now the next basic concept is inheritance. So inheritance is an object by which one class gets the properties of the other class. The class from which property is inherited is called base class, and the class inheriting the property is called a derived class. Basically, there are the 5 types of inheritance. A single inheritance, that means there is a single base class and single derived class. Multiple inheritance has a multiple base class and a single derived class. So here there are in the multiple inheritance A and B. These both are the base class and C is a derived class. Hierarchical inheritance, a base class is a single base class, and here there are multiple derived class. So A is a base class and B, C and D are the derived class. In a multi-level inheritance, from A, B is derived, from B, C is derived. Okay. And the combination of all this, it is called a hybrid inheritance. Now the next concept is polymorphism. Polymorphism means different forms or ability to act differently in a different situations. For example, this plus sign, it is used to do the addition of two integer numbers, but in object-oriented programming, we are also use a plus operator to add the two strings. Okay. So plus is used for both the purpose, for addition and for the string combination. So it is called a polymorphism. Then message passing. An object-oriented programming consists of a set of objects that communicate with each other. Now, the last topic of this slide is the advantage of object-oriented programming. That data is given in a primary importance which allows the real-world entities to be modeled easily. Then the concept of object corresponding to its counterpart in the real-world system. In object-oriented programming, data and functions are close together, that is called a class. Once we are implementing the object, that object is used in many systems without developing every time from the scratch. There is also the benefit of encapsulation. It separates the external and internal aspects of object. Then in the concept of inheritance allows the real world relations to be molded easily. Polymorphism provides the flexibility to user by allowing multiple forms of same thing. Then software systems are easy to maintain as a concept of object clear boundaries, making design easier. Then the class, a grouping of related class, allows a reusable concept in C++. So there are so many advantages of this object-oriented programming. So it is very easy to develop a complicated applications, and it is useful to create any complex software also. Thank you.